Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good, how
What's
are you?
your name?
I'm Greg, nice to meet you.
Greg.
Okay, so I feel like you're getting at this idea of polysemy, where we have multiple related meanings for a word, right? Like, for example, a famous painting can be emotionally moving in that it changes my emotional state. And when I was on the highway coming here to the studio, I was physically moving, I was changing my position. If I said, I believe the Mona Lisa is very moving, and you said, you don't really understand what you're saying, it's nailed to the wall, I would say that you're the one who doesn't understand what I'm saying, not the other way around. And the way that relates to this is there are many concepts of God, and I'll admit, I find a lot of what you say about that interesting. I'm familiar with it. The idea of this kind of Jungian hierarchical thing, or as a metaphor or a symbol, or the kind of, atheist, materialist, literalist idea of a agentic, omnipotent, omniscient being that intervenes in reality, right? So when I'm saying that I reject the concept of God, I'm aware of these other definitions of God, but I think that when we use words, we tend to only imply one meaning at a time. So the same way that I would say the Mona Lisa is moving emotionally, but I would not say it's moving physically. I would say I reject the concept of God in this very literal way. But
what literal way?
The way that God is this omniscient, omnipotent, agentic, supernatural being.
Marquette, I see you shaking your head over there. Already off the bat, I would say, I see his point. The cold cuts is sinking out his pores. It's hard for him to truly think. So he's just trying to have an analogy that's outside of a biblical perspective and then map it on to the biblical perspective and then say that I empathize with it and say, I know what you mean, but then again, I don't know what you mean. I think that his analogy was straight trash. What's your thoughts on his argument so far? Hopefully Jordan Peterson can, take advantage of this one and obliterate dude. But go ahead. And also, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, but go ahead, Marquette.
Sure. Do you want to switch over the video to me and tell me the timestamp and switch it over? Looks at it about like 13 minutes or something. Okay, I think he heard that late. Anyways, so I don't think we should listen to everyone. This fellow right here is wildly overweight, and truth be told, if you can't manage your calorie intake, I don't think you should try to manage anyone else's belief. So, what can you do? Also, from his tonation, I surmise that he guzzles Skittles, and you have to consider the person when they're making an argument, especially when you're dealing with abstractions, because they may be making the argument to justify their own way of being, because human beings, very rarely are we objective. Most often we're trying to gain an advantage. We're trying to, achieve something based on something that's motivating us. And so his tonation, frankly, I don't want to accuse the young man of an abomination, but his tonation sounds as though he may be a Skittle guzzler. And if you're a Skittle guzzler, you cannot be religious, because all religions say that you're engaging in an abomination, and many religions say that there is capital punishment for you. So of course it would be in your personal interest to argue against religion. So I think that he has maybe some vested interest. Also, not being gluttonous is a value in many religions as well. And so we see that he's let himself go in many ways, and it expresses his own wickedness. So I'm not surprised that he's taking the position that he's taking. And I would like to let people know that logical fallacies make perfect sense, especially in an academic situation. However, I would like to let you know that these are also opinions and perspectives. And I would also like you to know that Marquettism, in our perspective, we believe that you must consider the arguer, the speaker must be considered as well, and their motivations, and also if we should address them as an individual, and mostly we should.
You know what? That's a good point. That is a good point as far as what you said. I only caught the end, but that point was good. Logical fallacies are truly only good if you're in like some formal debate. But generally it doesn't really hold any weight because you should attack people on all facets and all corners. If you're really going to be ruthless and you really want to, for the purposes of pushing an agenda, pushing forth your perspective, obliterating the other person's perspective, it's like, man, go ahead and use it ad hominem.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, the funny thing is, the audience don't really know me and Marquette's relationship, but I've always thought that. And no, you know what? During my debates, because you know I do debate nights.
Yes.
I'll be like, no, we using all ad hominems. We going in. Logical fallacies, what? No, we going in tonight. Because it's like sometimes that's what's needed, man, especially when you get some weird characters that you're debating and they have these weird views. No, you need to destroy them on all fronts.